Bellator 280, Pedro versus Congo 2 in the heavyweight division. That is the main event. You got Yoel Romero, Alex Belize, Davey Gallen, Benjamin Brander. We got Lorenz, Larkin, Kyle Stewart, Gregory, Babene, and Mike Shipman, Pedro, Carvalho, Piotr, Niedzielski, if I'm saying that one correctly, Thibault, Gouti, and Luis Long, Fabacary, Diatta, Jordan Barton, Soren, and Charlie Leary, Gavin, Hughes, Yves, Landu, Lucie, Bertaud, and Katarzyna, Sadura, Matthieu, Duclos, Youcef, Oubbas, and then Bourama, Camara, and then Verchere. I know I got some of those names wrong right there, but we got to look at the cancellations on the card. The first one, Yoel Romero and Melvin Manhoef is now Yoel Romero and Alex Belize. Soren Saul Rogers is now Soren taking on, let's see if I can find it, Charles Leary. Pedro Carvalho, Kasan Askabov is now Pedro Carvalho, Piotr, Niedzielski, if I'm saying that one correctly. Nicola Soli and Joel Kuja. I believe that fight is completely off the card. If I'm being completely honest, I believe that is the case. They might do a replacement fight, but it is only 2 days till the fight happens. Lorenz, Larkin, Khalid, and Murtalaziev is now Lorenz, Larkin taking on Kyle Stewart. We have Lorenz, Larkin, Anthony Adams. Now is the Kyle Stewart one. Davion Franklin, Daniel James. I'm really not too sure what happened there, but that one is completely off the card. So those are the cancellations. There was a lot of them. These are the new updated Bellator 280 fights right there. We're going to update it one more time just to be sure. But that is the full card, and we're going to do the predictions right now as we go on to the welterweight division. Victor Verchere and Bourama Camara in the welterweight division. Now, they're both from France. This is a France fight card. It is Pedro versus Congo 2. Pretty much every single fight on this card, except for maybe like 2 or 3, maybe even 4, have someone on the card from France. Both of the fighters here are from France. One of them is coming off a loss by a decision in the last fight to an undefeated Wissam Akhmouch right there. Before that, getting a few submission wins and a TKO win. Victor Verchere, 5 wins and 1 loss. Also coming off a decision loss and then getting a lot of submission wins before that. It's a weird fight because they're both coming from France. It's very hard to find film on these fights. I believe I only found like 1 or 2 fights from both guys right here. I'm going to be quite honest with you. It is such a weird fight to predict. 2 guys coming off a loss. 2 guys that mainly like to go out there, take the fight down, look for the submission, use the wrestling, use the grappling and things like that. It should be a 50-50 just because it's very hard to predict what these two guys are really going to be doing in the fight. As of right now, the odds have kind of switched. Bourama Camara is actually the favorite right now. That is very, very interesting. I'm going to go, I guess, the underdog and Victor Verchere to win. I believe the grappling and wrestling is even, but I give a slight advantage to Victor Verchere, striking very, very 50-50. I do give the advantage on the ground to Victor Verchere, so I think that's going to be the one thing that gets in the win. I don't think it's going to be a finish because both guys don't really get finished in their fights. I think the fight goes all the way Victor Verchere by a 29-28 decision. Youcef, Oubbas, and Matthieu Duclos in the middleweight division. Now 2-0 and then 2-1. Only 1 loss by a heel hook submission right there. Then he got a decision win over a 0-1 guy, and then a corner through and towel knockout win. I guess it was a TKO win if you want to count it as in the first or second round right there. Same thing kind of going for him, not against the best competition. 0-1 and then 0-1, getting a knockout and then getting a decision. I honestly don't want to even do this prediction because his last fight was in 2019. That was 3 years ago. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to do this prediction. It is a very weird fight. Do not bet the fight. Do not try to make a logical prediction here because it is very, very weird to make a prediction like that. I'm going to go Youcef Oubbas right there just because he's coming from Congo Smashing Club. Maybe that has something to do with Czech Congo. But again, it's a weird fight. Neither guy I could find any film on, so I'm not going to give you a technical prediction or anything like that. Just do not do anything with this fight. I'm going to go Youcef by, I'm going to go with decision. It's a weird fight. Don't do anything with that one right there. Lucie, Bertaud, and Katarzyna Sadura in the flyweight division. Both girls pretty 50-50 records. Lucie Bertaud getting knocked out by Carla Benitez 6 months ago. who is an 19, 15, and 1 fighter. She did beat some girls inside of Bellator right there. Magui Burchell and then Kelly Pinson over there in UAE Warriors. But again, a lot of the girls she's losing to and winning to are losing record opponents. And she's fighting Katarzyna Sadura, who's almost a losing record opponent if she would have lost that last fight with Darina Madzuik. But it's a weird fight. Katarzyna is going to be the better wrestler. She's going to be the better grappler, in my opinion. She's going to be taller. She's going to be lengthier than Lucie Bertaud right here. So I think it's a pretty self-explanatory prediction. I'm not going to throw the bag on her to win the fight. Again, it is women's MMA. There's so many things that can happen. Wow, that is crazy. Katarzyna is the underdog right now, plus 130. That is very, very interesting. Yeah, I don't know how she got turned into the underdog after all that, but she's better pretty much everywhere, in my opinion. Taller, lengthier, and she's got the better striking as well. So I'm going to go Katarzyna Sadura by a slight decision right there. Gavin Hughes and Yves Landu in the lightweight division. I'm going to say it right now, it's either Yves Landu by some flashy knockout, going out there, landing some really big shots, and just getting a flying knee knockout like he got on Terry Brazier, a Camara submission like he did two times in a row, or a head kick knockout, which is something crazy, is the only real way that I do see Yves Landu winning this fight. Just going out there and doing something crazy. Gavin Hughes is slightly the better fighter here. He's taller, he's not as lengthy as Yves Landu, but he's got the cardio advantage, he's got the wrestling advantage, he's got the grappling, maybe in terms of just like controlling the fight on the ground, maybe the submission game goes to Yves Landu, but Gavin Hughes does have a clear path to victory here. Is literally put the pressure on the feet, just kind of wear on the cardio and the gas tank of Yves Landu, and mix in the takedowns. It's one of those fights where, yes, I see Gavin Hughes clearly winning the fight on the ground with the takedowns, with the pressure, with the cardio advantage, and things like that. But again, the fight card is in Paris, France. Yves Landu is from Paris, France, so even if the fight is super, super close, or I do think it is going to be a slightly close fight, like a 29-28 decision, if it is that close of a fight, the judges could honestly just go, yeah, I'm going to go Yves Landu, just so the crowd doesn't go absolutely crazy, because we didn't pick the Frenchman to win the fight. It's a weird fight. I can see Yves Landu just getting a very controversial split decision win here, just from landing some big shot in one of the rounds or things like that, but yeah, Gavin Hughes is better, his cardio is better, his wrestling is better, his pressure on the feet is better, explosiveness goes Yves Landu, the power goes Yves Landu, but I think that volume will trump the power and the bigger shots that Yves Landu will land in the fight, plus the takedowns and the wrestling. So I am going to go Gavin Hughes to win the fight by a decision right there. Soren and Charlie Leary in the 160-pound catchweight division. I'm going to be honest with you, the man is 29 years old. Yes, he's a little bit less in terms of height, a little bit less in terms of reach, but all of you Paddy Pimblett fanatics out there saying that he's going to be the future champion, if he's going to be the future champion, Soren better be the future champion, because he went out there and destroyed Paddy Pimblett, dominated him with a unanimous decision. We beat Morgan Charrier right there, Terry Brazier, and then Bobby Lee as well. Only losing to Alexei Montekivi by knockout. That dude has some power. He's got 7 submission wins, 2 knockout wins, and 6 decision wins. Charlie Leary, 17 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Yeah, dude, he's coming off a lot of wins. He's got a lot of knockout wins on his record, which is going to be the main way he wins this fight. But he's going against the best grappler he has ever faced. This is the easiest prediction on the card, probably my most confident pick of the card. Soren by submission in the second rounds. Fabacary Diatta and Jordan Barton in the featherweight division. Jordan Barton, 29 years old, and then Fabacary Diatta, 25 years old, from France. Again, this is a French fight card, so if it hits the judges, most likely they're going to give Fabacary Diatta. But Fabacary, 8 wins and 0 losses. He's coming off a few decision wins over legit guys. Nathan Rose and then Dominic Wooding, who is a very, very game opponent right there. Before that, not really fighting the best guys. 0-5, 3-5, 1-2, and then 4-9 right there. But he's got a lot of decision wins on his record, which is what I'm expecting him to do out there in this fight. I expect him to keep the fight on the feet, make it a striking fight, very technical. use that height and reach advantage that he will have, keep the fight at range, jab, 1-2, leg kick, body kick, front kick, things like that, just to keep the fight at range, very technical striking fight, and win the fight by decision. Yeah, I would say that Jordan Barton is a live dog, because he's got some power in his hands. A lot of his wins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his wins are by finish, and as an amateur, every single one of those wins were by a finish, so he's definitely a live dog. If he goes out there and just starts pressuring the heck out of Fabacary and starts throwing bombs, there's no saying that he can't land that one big shot and knock out Fabacary Diatta. So it's an interesting fight. I think Fabacary is the more technical guy. He's got more speed, he's got the better striking, the better kickboxing, the better Muay Thai. It's one of those fights. Jordan could land the big shot, but everything is saying that Fabacary Diatta is going to win. So I'm going to go Fabacary to win the fight by a unanimous decision. Louis Long and Thibault Gouti in the welterweight division. Thibault is moving from the lightweight division to the welterweight division. He's older than Louis Long. He is going to be a little bit lengthier than Louis Long right there, which will help him a little bit on the feet and force Louis Long to close the distance just a little bit more. Now, I do have Louis Long winning. I'm gonna say that right now before I really get into the breakdown. I do have Louis Long winning this fight, but it is not a confident pick by any means. First off, again, like a lot of these fights, there is a Frenchman in the fight. Thibault Gouti is a French fighter. This is a French fight card. So if Thibault Gouti gets the fight to the judges' scorecards, if he lands some big shots on the feet, gets taken down and things like that, it's a very close 29-28 fight. They're going to give Thibault Gouti the win on those judges' scorecards. But it's very tough. Louis Long is the better grappler. He is the better wrestler. He is more experienced. He's got really good submission game. He submitted Gianna Melio right there, Michael Dubois, Walter Gahadza right there. Only losing to Roberto Solidig, Oliver and Comp, and then a few other very, very legit guys. Louis Long is a very legit grappler and jiu-jitsu type of guy. I don't know if he's going to finish Thibault Gouti on the ground. It's very likely that does happen, as a lot of the submission losses for Thibault Gouti were submissions in the first and third round by legit guys. Oliver Verchere and then Timu Pakalain right there. But I'm going to lean towards more of a decision here. I think it's going to be very close, 29-28 on those judges' scorecards. I think one round will go Thibault Gouti, just keeping the front of the feet, making it a little bit dirty, landing some big shots in the feet, winning at least one, but the other two going Louis Long with the wrestling and grappling. Pedro Carvalho and Piotr Niedzielski in the featherweight division. I've been fading Pedro Carvalho for a little bit now. I faded him with Patricio. I had Patricio winning. I had JJ Wilson winning. I did have Pedro Carvalho winning that Daniel Weichel fight, but that's because Daniel Weichel was kind of old at that time. He's like 42 years old when they fought at that point in his career, but he was the underdog in the fight. Very surprisingly, it was a very, very close, so honestly could have gone either way, but now he's fighting a lot younger of an opponent, Piotr Niedzielski, who's a very strong, very, very, very strong up-and-coming fighter in this Bellator featherweight division. He's coming from the lightweight division down to the featherweight division, so kind of is Pedro Carvalho, but he's going to be lengthier, and Pedro is going to be a little bit taller, but Piotr is going to be a heck of a lot stronger. He's got the wrestling advantage, he has the power advantage, and the submission game is going to be very, very even as well. I think this one could definitely go to a decision, but I would not be surprised if Pedro goes out there and gets knocked out in the first round. I would not be surprised by any means, but it's a weird fight. I think I am going to go the underdog here in Piotr to win the fight. Either by TKO, Pedro's chin really is not the best. So either Piotr just going out there, using that strength in the clinch, pulling out of the clinch, throwing a bomb, and knocking out Pedro Carvalho, or Piotr playing more of the wrestling approach, the clinching approach, using that strength to land the takedowns and kind of control the fight on the ground, land the harder shots on the feet, and win a decision. Either way, I'm going to go Piotr to win the fight. It is very close, but I got Piotr winning that fight by a unanimous decision. Mike Shipman and Gregory Babene in the middleweight division. Babene has a record of 21 wins and 11 losses. He is 38 years old. He's going to be taller. I'm not too sure about the reach advantage right there, but Mike Shipman did lose to Gustavo Vinstein, his very solid opponent, and then Fabian Edwards. an okay opponent. Not the best opponent, just, an okay opponent. But it's been a year and 7 months since he's fought. It's been about 6 months since Gregory Babene's fought, and it was against a 10-10 opponent. Before that, it was a 2.5-year layoff. I think this is going to be very interesting. Either Gregory Babene just lands a crazy knockout on the feet, head kick knocks out Mike Shipman, or he submits him on the ground or something like that, or Mike Shipman goes out there, puts on the pressure on the feet, lands a little bit more volume with the boxing, and then takes down Gregory Babene and just controls him on the ground for 3 rounds to a decision. I don't think he's going to be submitting Gregory Babene right here. He's not going to be TKOing him with ground and pound or anything like that. I'm going to go Mike Shipman by a decision right there. Just out wrestling and ground and pounding for the win, but it's not a confident pick. Gregory has really good finishing abilities, so it's very live that the underdog wins there, but I'm going to go Mike Shipman by a decision. Lorenz Larkin and Kyle Stewart in the middleweight division. Now, Lorenz Larkin, very solid opponent. I mean, 23 wins, 7 losses, beating Rafael Carvalho, KD Nakamura, Andre Koreshkov. That is a very, very legit win right there. Ian Pascu, Fernando Gonzalez. He's 35 years old. Kyle Stewart is 36 years old. I'm going to be honest. Yes, Kyle is going to be taller. He's going to be lengthier. He's going to be younger. He's going to be more active, fighting about 4 weeks ago. But the striking, Lorenz Larkin is going to destroy him. Yeah, they already know what's happening right here. 23% going Larkin by knockout. That's where I'm going. I mean, Lorenz Larkin hasn't really gotten too many knockout wins recently, with 5 decision wins in a row right there. I have a feeling, man, Lorenz Larkin's power is very on and off. Sometimes he has that power, he goes out there, absolutely destroys you, puts your lights out, and you're done. Sometimes he just kind of kickboxes you, kind of wins a decision like that. So I would not be surprised if it's a decision here, but I think Kyle Stewart is going to keep his guard up high. He's going to eat a few shots to the body, and then Lorenz Larkin is going to come up high with a big overhand, and he's going to knock him. Maybe a left hook, maybe a right hook. I have no idea what he's going to catch Kyle Stewart with, but he's a much better striker. He's got more power, he's got more volume. If it goes to a decision, I still go Lorenz Larkin winning, but I'm going to go knockout. Lorenz Larkin by knockout in the first or second rounds. Davey Gallon and Benjamin Brander in the lightweight division. Now, Benjamin, 34 years old, surprisingly, the older opponent here, coming off split decision losses to, not the best opponents, but he gets finished in a lot of his fights, mainly by submission, rear naked by Slava Bolahi, Luca Vitali by his toe hold right there, and then Chris Bungard by a rear naked choke submission, but he has been knocked out before, but in this fight, I don't know. I really don't know if he's going to get knocked out or if it's going to be a decision for Davey Gallon. I definitely have Davey Gallon winning. He is better pretty much everywhere, where you look at wrestling, where you look at grappling, if you look at striking, if you look at, I believe the height and reach also is going to go for Davey Gallon to win right there. Actually, no, Benjamin Brander is going to be the taller guy, but still, Davey is going to land the much harder shots, and I think he wins the fight by decision. He is coming from France. That is another thing. The fight is going to be in France. Davey Gallon has the power advantage. He's got the volume advantage. He's got the home court advantage. He's got the grappling advantage. He's got the excitement factor. There was much more flashy strikes. I mean, he had that rolling thunder on Ross Pearson. He's going to land the bigger shots, more shots, better wrestling, better grappling. I'm going to go Davey Gallon by a unanimous decision. Yoel Romero and Alex Polizzi in the light heavyweight division. Now, I'm going to refresh this page. You can see it right now. Some of them having minus 225. Some of them having like a minus 155. We're going to refresh it really quick just to make sure those are the odds. So it is very close. Minus 155 for Yoel Romero, who started at minus 260. Not going to lie, he was almost a 3-1 favorite against Alex Polizzi. I thought that was a little bit insane. He is 45 years old. He's going to be the same height as Alex Polizzi and pretty much the same reach as Alex Polizzi. Wrestling-wise, 50-50. It's really going to come down to who has the better striking. Now, overall, in terms of volume, in terms of speed, in terms of just overall technique and things like that, Alex Polizzi probably is going to have the advantage, but you know Yoel Romero. If you watched the fight with Marlon Vera and Rob Font this past weekend, and you saw Rob Font landing double the amount of strikes pretty much every single round, and then Marlon Vera going out there in the final 30 seconds of the round, landing something really big and just winning the round. That is Yoel Romero. Alex Polizzi is going to go out there. He's going to land a little bit more shots in terms of volume than Yoel Romero. But Yoel is going to land the harder shots, and I believe he's going to end every single round with the flurry. He's going to get Alex Polizzi's back to the cage, start throwing some bombs, some flying knees like he did in the Chris Weidman fight, and he's going to win the rounds. I don't think it's going to be dominant. It's going to be a very close decision. Whoever wins, Polizzi or Yoel Romero. I'm going to go Romero by very, very slight. 29-28 decision right there. Ryan Bader and Chet Congo 2 in the heavyweight division. Ryan Bader, better wrestler. He's a little bit younger, a lot younger, but he's going to be a lot less in terms of reach and in terms of height. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, of course, Ryan Bader's going to win. He just beat Valentin Modovsky. He beat Lyoto Machida, only losing to Corey Anderson and Vadim Nemkov, the two best UFC light heavyweights in the world. But still, Chet Congo is a powerful guy. Went out there, landing some really big shots on Sergey Kharitonov, then somehow got a submission on Sergey Kharitonov. Chet Congo can lose this entire fight for a full 24 minutes and 35 seconds. And in that last remaining 25 seconds, Congo can go out there and knock out Ryan Bader. Ryan's chin is not the best. So you never do know with a guy like Chet Congo. One big shot and the fight is over. That's why Ryan's not one of my confident picks here. Chet Congo can 1000% go out there and knock him out. But, you know, more realistic prediction, Ryan keeping the fight very even on the feet, coming inside every now and then to land a flurry of strikes, land the takedowns, and control the fight on the ground, and win at least 3 of the rounds. And they get a TKO later on in the fight. 3rd, 4th round TKO for Ryan Bader. He did get a split decision loss to Timothy Johnson right there. Split decision loss to Muhammad Lawal. A decision loss to Vitaly Minakov. A knockout loss to Roy Nelson. Knockout loss to Roy Hunt. A lot of knockout losses earlier in his career, but recently, not really too much. So, originally when I first saw the fight, I was like, yeah, maybe Ryan Bader by ground and pound TKO. I'm switching that. I'm going to go Ryan Bader by a decision right here. Chet Congo will do enough to survive. He'll land some big shots of his own. Maybe almost get a finish on Ryan Bader, but Ryan's going to use that wrestling, grind down that unanimous decision. Thank you guys for watching that video. That is my full card prediction for Bellator 280. Bader versus Congo 2. I got Ryan Bader winning. I got Yoel slightly. I got Davey Gallin, Lorenz Larkin, Mike Shipman, Piotr, Niedzielski, Louis Long, Fabacary Diatta, Soren Bach, Gavin Hughes, Katarzyna, Sadura, Youcef, Oubbas right there, and then Victor Verchere. My only 2 underdogs are going to be Sadura, as well as, let's see if I can find it. Where is that other underdog? There it is, Piotr Niedzielski right there. Those are my 2 underdogs of the card. And if you want to see my confident picks, we're going to make another video right now. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.